What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Observant Lineman. I'm your Observant Lineman, Uche Nwaneri. And wow, once again, the Dallas Cowboys, in position to actually establish themselves as true contenders, show up to Gillette Stadium to face the New England Patriots on a cold, windy, rainy, ugly day of football. And once again, the Cowboys prove that when it comes to the big game against a premium opponent, they are unable to deliver the goods. And now there may finally be a cost for Jason Garrett in his job and his security as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. To go into a game like this with so much on the line in a tight divisional race where you have the Philadelphia Eagles one game behind you, to have your team go out there unprepared to play in the weather conditions of all things, unprepared to be able to go out there and perform knowing that you're going to be playing in a bunch of wind, you're going to be playing with a bunch of rain, and it's going to be very cold, something that you're not typically used to as a team that plays indoors. I find it unbelievable. I find it unfathomable that you, as the head coach, the person who is supposed to be the motivator, the leader of this team, has these guys come out not ready to play this game. Dak Prescott didn't decide to throw on a glove until the second half. Wasn't cold enough? Not only were they unprepared from an offensive standpoint to play against a vaunted Patriots defense on their home turf with the conditions in the way that they were, the Cowboys showed a complete lack of awareness in situations that mattered and would in the end dictate who won the game. You know, in a situation where it's fourth down and you are down by a touchdown score.
Prescott. Jarwin out of bounds.
Jason Garrett decides he's going to take 3 points and still be down a touchdown. Didn't make much sense to me, and it just goes to show the overall lack of awareness as a coaching staff. It's hard enough to beat the Patriots in Gillette Stadium. I know, I've played there multiple times. Hard enough to beat them there, but when you don't even come in with the football awareness that one would expect from the head coach of the most valuable football team in sports, says a lot. And Jerry Jones has clearly had enough. So let's take a look at a couple of points here that is very important in terms of why the Cowboys performed the way they did. The special team surrendered a blocked punt deep in their own territory, missed a field goal, and barely avoided a near disaster when they weren't ready to return a short kickoff. Special teams is a lot of times in games like these, special teams is the wild card, is the X factor that can play a massive role in your ability to win a game.
This one's blocked. Up in the air.
And in a situation where you have two defenses who are holding two offenses in check, it usually comes down to that third phase of football, which is special teams, where you have the New England Patriots blocking a punt early in the game, setting themselves up for an easy touchdown, what would be the only touchdown of the entire game. And on the other side of that, you have the Cowboys who muff two kickoff returns, one in the crucial moment of the game that puts them on their own 8-yard line, setting up a monumental task for a quarterback in Dak Prescott, who will now have to march 92 yards in order to have a chance to score a touchdown in a game where they haven't been able to throw the ball, where their best receiver doesn't have a single catch for any yards, hasn't even been targeted. And now you're going to ask this offense to go 92 yards in the rain, in the wind, with all these factors stacked against them. Totally unrealistic. So special teams killed the Cowboys on Sunday, as well as the performance of their offense and the unpreparedness of their coaches to have these guys ready to play a game in a manner that fits the scenario, the situation that they're going to have to play in. So Jerry Jones had a lot to say, and there were some points that he made that are totally relevant in regards to why the Cowboys have not been able to win games in these situations. And in this game in particular, he points a finger directly at their special teams. Special teams is a total reflection of coaching. Jones said accurately. The offense appeared unprepared to cope with the cold, wet weather until the second half, and Garrett kept settling for field goals near the goal line, a tactic which has proven fatal to Patriot opponents for roughly 19 years. Former teammate Troy Aikman ripped Garrett's play calling and special team miscues during Sunday's telecast. 3 decades of loyalty to the organization can no longer shield Garrett from criticism. The roster is relatively healthy, and the NFC East is horrendous, so there's no hiding from the fact that a lack of play calling aggressiveness and attention to detail are 2 of the Cowboys' biggest problems right now. Now, at the end of the day, this is nothing new for people who are in the league, people who are in the know in regards to the Dallas Cowboys. In my short time there, it was obvious to me that Jason Garrett was not the head coach of this franchise. He didn't have the leadership, the motivational skills, or the credibility amongst his own players to be truly in control of the locker room. And I don't think that he's ever really been in control of the locker room down in Dallas. Jerry Jones is the beginning and the end with the Dallas Cowboys. And at some point that is going to have to end in order for the Cowboys to take the next step forward. When you have a head coach who is a puppet, who is someone who does not truly understand the pulse of the team and dictate the actions of his staff, you have situations like this where everyone is on eggshells. Nobody is really prepared to make the decisions to push the franchise forward because they're worried about the emperor in the glass tower, and that is Jerry Jones. Until he gives up control, the team will never move forward. This is a roster that has gone year in and year out with one of the most talented squads. Every single season and every single year, we get the same result from the Dallas Cowboys. It is a team that underperforms, underachieves with some of the best talent that you've seen among the NFL in the last 10 to 15 years. So there's no excuse at this point. And Jason Garrett has had 9 years as the head coach with rosters that have can we list how many Pro Bowl players they've had each and every season? You know, the NFL is not a league where any other coach in his position would be granted the luxury of a 9-year stay for the lack of production that he has had as their head coach. And again, it comes down to the man in the glass tower. There's not a true culture that's being built in Dallas because it's not being represented by somebody who is seen as fully credible. And when you look at a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who started this season in dismal conditions, losing their starting quarterback, losing multiple games, starting out with a far below 500 record, and now as we sit here going into the latter part of the season, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a winning record. The Pittsburgh Steelers have strung together solid wins, and they have a legitimate chance of being in the playoffs come January. And when you look at a team like Pittsburgh and compare them to Dallas, these teams both have the same records, but do they have the same level of talent? I don't think so. And when you have that kind of situation that's played out in many situations in Pittsburgh, they've had multiple years now with Tomlin where they've started slow, and Tomlin has galvanized the troops and gotten those guys to win and gotten those guys to be playing for something come December. And he has the full commitment of his players to the culture that he has developed, to the culture and the brand that the Pittsburgh Steelers stand for. And that is not something that you can say for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are a media darling, but they are not a team that has been able to galvanize themselves under the leadership of a head coach in decades. But you guys tell me what you think. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri. Hit the like button if you like this video and hit the bell notification so you can get notified each and every time I drop a new video. I appreciate you guys coming and checking out this quick hot take on Jason Garrett and his now fragile position within the Dallas Cowboys as their head coach. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.